Call to order. Start with the Pledge of Allegiance. I
pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
You gotta watch for the judge. Reading of the call. Dear Supervisor, please be advised that the Trempealeau County Board of Supervisors will meet at 10 a.m. on April 16th, 2024 in the County Board Room. All County Board members' claims are due in the County Clerk's office by noon on April 5, 2024, so they can be prepared for Audit Committee approval. Sincerely, Paul Severson, County Clerk. I'm just kind of watching for the judge to show up here pretty soon. The next on the agenda is reading the Certificate of Membership. Pardon? What?
You want me to message Ashley Berg?
Yeah, just, I told him to be here right at 10. Okay. I, Paul L. Severson, County Clerk of Trempealeau County, Wisconsin, do hereby certify the following to be a true and correct list of the members of the Board of Supervisors of Trempealeau County, Wisconsin, for the term of 2 years commencing on the third Tuesday, April 2024, expiring the third Tuesday of April 2026, as certified to me by the Board of County Canvassers of said county. Supervisor District 1, Bridget Turner. District 2, Stacy Klein. District 3, Richard Sasha. District 4, Lori Severson. District 5, Andy Todd. District 6, Richard Anderson. District 7, Kevin Adams. District 8, Dick Miller. District 9, Kevin Wallen. District 10, John Austin. District 11, Dawn Waldera. District 12, Robert Becker. District 13, Renee Lyon. District 14, Kellen Nelson. District 15, David Larson. District 16, Jeannie Nutter. District 17, Ron Johnson. Dated at Whitehall, Wisconsin, the 16th day of April 2024, Paul L. Severson, Trempealeau County Clerk. And if you look on your desk, that should be the next thing down on your list of stuff there, because you got a pretty good sized pile, is your certificate of election. Okay, so that certifies, that gives the dates of what your term is. The next on the agenda is the judge to swear you in.
No, there's intake this morning.
You going to just take a break?
I think so.
Okay. Because also on your desk, the next thing after that should be your oath of office. So when he comes, he'll have you stand and raise your hand and read that.
Everybody all ready to go?
Yeah.
Welcome, everybody.
Stand up.
So you have an oath of office. You should
Yep,
have
they've
that.
all got the...
And so what I'm going to do is have each of you raise your right hand, and then I want you to read what it says on your oath of office with your hand raised, and you'll be sworn in. Sign once you're done. I'll come around and countersign it one by one afterwards, okay? All ready? Go ahead.
I cannot swear or support the Constitution of the United States, the Constitution of the State of Wisconsin, and that faithfully and impartially discharge the audit of the County Board of Supervisors, District 9, to the best of my ability. So help you God.
Congratulations. I'll come around and sign. Yeah.
Please turn them in to me. I will keep them on file. I think while he's doing that announcement, if you go farther down in your pack that I've got on the table there, you'll find a list that shows your contact information. I want you to make sure that I've got it right. If it isn't, tell me and we'll get a new one made with the right, if all your information is correct, then we'll be good that way. And then right after that one is the sheet that shows the order for audit committee, your assignments for audit for the next 2 years. Had to go all the way to 26.
Right here.
Oh, Judge. Oh, that was fast.
Yeah.
I'll have you collect. Thunder, thunder, thunder. Okay. Oh, there you go. What movie? For... We had snow and thunder on the same day. Well, if he gets...
Congratulations, everybody, again. Yep, thank you. Gotta go back to court, so take care.
Did you guys pass one?
Next on the agenda is the roll call. Bridget Turner.
Here.
Stacy Klein.
Here.
Richard Seisha.
Here.
Lori Severson.
Here.
Andy Todd.
Here.
Richard Anderson.
Here.
Kevin Adams.
Here.
Dick Miller.
Here.
Kevin Whalen.
Here.
John Austin.
Here.
Don Waldera.
Here.
John.
John Waldera?
That'd be my dad.
No, I'm not.
Yeah, he is John. Okay, that's right. Don Waldera. Robert Becker. Renee Lyon. Kellen Nelson.
Here.
David Larson.
Here.
Jeannie Nutter.
Here.
Ron Johnson.
Here.
17-0. Okay. Next on the agenda is the elections for County Board Chair, and nominations are now open. So you got to bring up the ballot. Are there any nominations for County Board Chair?
I would like to
John
nominate John Austin for County Board Chair.
John Austin is nominated.
I'd like to nominate Dave Larson for board chair.
I'm sorry, but I'm going to decline. I just live too far away to be here around as much as John is here.
Okay. Any other nominations? Now, we learned there is not really a three-time call anymore, is there?
You can do it if you want.
Okay, then I'll do it. I've done it 3 times already. Well, last time. Any other nominations for board chair?
Yeah, sure. I'll also nominate Dick Miller.
Okay. Dick Miller is nominated. Any other nominations? Okay. I'll entertain a motion to close nominations.
I move to close nominations.
Okay.
Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't write that one.
All those in favor say aye. Aye. Okay, now
Is this televised or not yet?
Yep.
Just recorded?
Dawn is going to print out 17 of those. I'll have Ron and Bridget be ballot takers. Please work machine. And this ballot you do not sign. Have to him and half to. How close to? I'll hand you one.
Hot off the press, actually. Do you have somebody in the collection?
Yeah, we got Ron and Bridget.
Okay, there you go, sir.
It might be coming on that side. You probably didn't eyeball it exactly. Short one. He's gonna have an extra one on his side. Ron, did you have an extra ballot? Yeah. Okay, they need it over on that side. Who was it that? Okay.
Well,
I'd go back in that, run back.
Yeah, you can go back. Either side.
Either side back there, yeah.
we could put more flowers.
Either run back there.
Yep, that one, Ron. That one, no, that one right there's okay. The light will turn on, I think, when you go in there. Oh, doesn't it?
They're in the dark.
Okay,
Ooh, I don't know.
there you go.
I don't know about having them two in the dark.
Wait, turn that over.
How long was it last year? Jerry's was a year last year. I mean, it was comprehensive. It was good information. Right. That makes more sense. And here's what, I had a resolution or two, and I was on right after you. I sat and cooled my heels for like a month. And there was like something, I don't know, there were a couple of long days, so we just started singing those. I think they got together like 8 hours. You know, and it's just like, okay. I'm making this time up somewhere.
Okay, the results of the election are John Austin, 13, Dick Miller, 4. These ballots will be destroyed. And now, here.
Okay. Nominations are open for vice chair.
I'd like to nominate David Larson.
David Larson's been nominated.
Second.
You don't have
Any other
to,
nominations? You don't have to second the nomination. Is there any other nominations?
I'll nominate Dick Miller.
Dick Miller has been nominated. Any other nominations? Any other nominations? Hearing none? Make a motion, somebody make a motion.
I make a motion to close nominations.
Motion by Supervisor Nutter and seconded by Supervisor Turner. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Okay. One more round.
And you can keep the same 2 ballot
Yeah.
people.
You get your exercise this morning.
Take those right there now. I got one too many. If I counted right, he gets one. I counted 9, so I went that way with him. That way, now watch, it's one short the other way. Print one more, just one. And I'll give that to him.
You can blame it on him, Bridget.
Was it short one more? I counted 9. Tally.
No.
No. Tally. Ron, I'm going to give you this one too for the tally.
For the tally.
Tally, rather than just, that's when you'll do the totals on.
Here's. So who closed it?
Jeannie Nutter and Bridget Turner to close nominations.
Pardon? Yeah.
We meet Wednesday tomorrow.
Good. I left it same, Bridget, too. And what?
And Pace, that meeting's like very important.
That one wasn't even on the sheet, so more than likely it would be.
Like we didn't meet last month.
Put you on ADRC, too.
Really well in baseball, so
Gotta have somebody from
football,
All
Hughes.
the same.
past season.
No.
He did some switching around, but
Well, Kevin didn't want to be.
ADRC.
Put it-
Did you get the motion second for the closing nomination?
Can't remember what I put on.
Jeannie here?
Yeah,
Yeah, got it.
want to keep that, just one thing.
Yep. It's gonna get worse when we get to the next one. You might as well bring that one up right away. Yeah, no, Highway Committee.
Looks like it's raining pretty good.
Now, don't go too fast on this next one, though.
Sometimes it's just.
Go ahead.
The vote for vice chair is David Larson, 13, Dick Miller, 4.
Okay. Next thing on the agenda is a election of highway committee. We have to have 5 people for highway committee. And
But you
that's
can
another-
nominate many more.
You can nominate as many as you want, but we have to have at least 5, so. Nominations are open for Highway Committee.
Nominate John Austin.
John Austin's been nominated.
I would nominate Don Waldera.
Don Waldera's been nominated.
I nominate David Larson.
David Larson's been nominated.
I didn't ask you, but
Kellen Nelson's been nominated.
I'll nominate Audie Becker.
Audie Becker's been nominated. How many do we have?
You got 5 so far.
I'd like to nominate Richard Anderson, if I'm allowed to. I don't even know if I'm allowed to.
You're a member.
Okay.
Yeah.
Richard Anderson's been nominated. Any other nominations? Other than that, I'm looking for nominations to be closed.
I move that we close nominations as there are no further names.
I'll second that.
Motion by Supervisor Nutter and seconded by Supervisor Turner. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Is the highway commissioner? Oh, there he is. He's hiding back there.
Oh, that's okay. I was gonna say, it should say Robert. You think that's 9? There should be 9 going this way with John.
Yeah.
Bridget, you wanna grab these
We
again?
just pick 5 on this ballot. We sign
You,
this one?
this one you must sign and only vote for 5. Now print 1 out for
Why
the
not
tally.
6?
If you don't sign, none of your votes will count.
Ooh.
Abstain, yeah. Big. Because this is gonna take longer. That one's gonna take longer. You better take a pen with.
Oh, that's a tally.
Tally.
I got it.
Okay. Oops, oops, oops. Bridget, this one's, when you get,
Oh, yeah, I just want to follow.
okay. See, now that light keeps turning off in there, so it must be motion. I thought it was motion.
Thank you.
Did you have a tally sheet?
I gave it to Ron already. Because this time it's gonna take a while. And if anybody voted for 6, then you're gonna have to throw that ballot out too. Because we don't know which 5. They don't have a table in there either. No, there's nothing in there. Did you notice that table in the hall was gone?
Well, we'd have to have election for healthcare center too, but they're already on, and they were current board members.
Oh, okay.
After doing it.
Is that separate?
Yeah, there's stuff.
They don't,
Sometimes I just need to turn my mic off. But it's like, so when. Well, you know, some for baseball, some sure stuff. It's a good. I enjoy it.
Think about other options.
Yeah, right. Telling them what inning they're in, how many outs are out. And so I said, I used to frequently, you know, mention this, and I feedback I got. You know, that's how I got his job. He was sick, and then he died. But he was world. Yep. Yeah, so when there's a little bit of a break, sometimes like there's a little bit of ball goes fall out of play, and in the second, you know, 2-1 Arcadia. And it's so simple to do. And yet, you know, like a lot of people say, oh, he's great, whatever. It's like, play sucks. And he really does. Fly ball out to right, and it's like, okay, what happened? And it's not really a fly ball, it's like, it's in the gap, and it's going wrong. And then he'll say, it's just, you know, you could circles around stories he can tell. I don't even, and that's just it. He's acting. He's not an analyst because he does not know strategies and stuff like that. I don't know. They have a little thing because there's a pitch identifying system. It's tied to the stance. So it's like I can find it. Yeah, well, I mean, I'm not 100%, but it's in there. Oh yeah. Yep. Good luck trying to do that these days with streaming. Because streaming can be up to 3 minutes, 2 or 3 minutes. Some of those we were listening to the Brewers game the other day on Saturday, and we were listening to it on my wife's car on Sirius XM. And it's a full 3-minute delay. However, on the other hand, it's like you don't have to, you know, we had that broadcast on the entire trip. From the game started with the Dells and we followed it over on the Bills. I mean, I'm pretty good at, I know what stations coming in. One's fading out. Yep. Tuning in the next transition between, yep. So we lose So it's like we're going from Galesville down to, right, say the game's on. You start the game on 96.7, but about Sparta, when you press the double there, you lose that. So then you gotta tune to 99.7 on the back. And you can get that, and that'll take you past. But then that fades out. And there's really not a station. There used to be one in Austin, but I don't think they broadcast the games anymore. So then, I can usually pick it up on 99.5. And transmit it out to circles. But that's a little touch and go sometimes. By the time you get down to the vicinity of the hotels, you can usually pick it up off the station or off of TJ in London. But that series like that. We were able to listen to those games.
John Austin, 12. Don Waldera, 6. David Larson, 15. Helen Nelson, 15. Robert Becker, 14. Richard Anderson, 12. So Austin, Larson, Nelson, Becker, Anderson
Okay.
are elected.
Sounds like a law firm.
Next item on the agenda is committee appointments. I'm going to delay that because we're going to have to take a little break with Rebecca and probably Paul to go down to the office. I have a pretty good list, but we want to make sure it works. So anyway, we'll go to item 8, adoption of the agenda.
I move to adopt the agenda.
Sorry.
Motion by Supervisor
I got
Nutter.
it.
No,
Nutter.
wait a minute, we gotta remove one of
What?
the
That'll,
resolutions.
that'll be coming.
But that's gotta be coming off we gotta amend the agenda again.
No, we're just
you
gonna
want
say
to-
that one's gonna be dropped, so. Yeah.
What's,
So you're okay. You just,
It's already been,
yeah.
okay.
okay. Motion by Nutter and seconded by Supervisor Johnson. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Adoption of the previous minutes, previous meeting. Motion by Supervisor Johnson, seconded by Supervisor Turner. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Okay, appearances. We have our illustrious administrator.
Whoa, illustrious, all right. Well, I just want to welcome all of you and say congratulations and thank you for your service. I really do appreciate the time and the commitment that each of you makes to serving not only the county, but the democratic process and in our country. So I think it's a big deal. So thank you very much. I appreciate it very much. I want to give you an update. That's the first handout I gave you, and just I'll highlight a few things to talk about. I have been in conversation with many of you talking about looking at our systems in our HRIS, our Human Resource Information System, and looking at how we and looking at possible new systems that would be put into place that would hopefully help us become more efficient in those processes. So we, meaning a large team of us from the county, have been meeting with various vendors to have demos and look at products that are available. And so we continue to flesh that out and look at what options we might have, and we'll be bringing some things forward to you eventually. But it is quite a bit of an involved process to kind of look at everything that's available that we want to make sure it's a good fit for us. I want to just point out again and thank all of you for those of you that have come into my office and just for individual meetings and taken a few minutes to talk with me. I really appreciate that. It's given me a great opportunity to get to know each of you a little bit better and understand Trempealeau County and your interest in the county, and I think that that helps us as we move forward in our planning and strategic planning, certainly for the county. And then also just, if you haven't set up a date already, make sure that you're contacting my office to get something set up. And of course, then with Supervisors Anderson, Lyon, and Whalen, we want to make sure that we get you on my calendar so we can sit down and do that. I attended the Trempealeau County stakeholder meeting at Gunderson Hospital. The hospital has done a fantastic job in their involvement in a lot of our health services throughout the county, and went through that meeting and sharing some of the demographic information from our county and how that will drive decisions that we make as well. We recently just moved our administrative, HR, economic development, tourism, corp council offices. So if you are looking for us up on the second floor, we're way down in the corner where the DA used to be. I attended the Jeremiah Sergestrom Family Benefit and the Trempealeau County Fair fundraiser this past weekend, which was just great to get to meet people and be out in the community and just see some more great event space. That was really a nice opportunity for me. Lastly, on the update are the meetings with Government Solutions LLC. I'm going to talk about that in just a minute, so I'll come back to that. But this coming week, wanted to highlight that I am meeting with Mary Carney from Congressman Van Orden's office. And thank you, Mary, for attending the meeting today. Great to have you here. Thank you. And then we'll also be attending the Towns Association meeting. So back to the information that you have from the Government Solution LLC, sorry. This has been shared with the Exec Finance Committee already, but I wanted to bring it to the board just so that you're aware of moving ahead. And this is a group that was recommended through PAA, the organization that does hiring for entities and hired for the administrator position here for the county. They also were recommended by the county administrator in Ashland County and Dunn County. This group has worked with both of those counties in doing an analysis. And I had asked for an overview and analysis of the county financial systems and finances. When I got into the position, I had reached out to John Hokemer, who had given me a survey that you all had completed when you were going through the process to hire an administrator. And the number one survey question that came out of that survey was that you were looking for more information on your finances and your process to go through budgeting. So this group is going to come in and help me through that budget process so that we can really lay out a better system of moving ahead. So I'm really excited about working with them. And in the packet, you can see is their proposal, the recommendations from Ashland County and Dunn County, which that really spoke a lot to me. I felt that those were really strong recommendations, as well as I've just had a lot of meetings with them to talk with them and have really felt good about the direction in using them. So you will hear more about that to come. One thing that I do want to bring to your attention today is I'm going to pass out a paper copy of a survey that they would like completed. You can either complete this as a paper copy, or later today I'll send it out in electronic form and you can do it online and send it directly to them in their email. If you want to fill out the paper copy, you can fill that out and just turn it into maybe into the clerk's office, let's say. That might be easiest. And then we'll hold them and send them all at once if you're going to do a paper copy. Or you can send it on your own. That's fine too. The address is included here, so feel free to do that as well. So I'll just go ahead and pass those out. If you have questions, feel free to let me know. I guess the one thing to point out, the department heads will be doing the same. They'll be filling out a survey for them as well. This group will be coming in April 29th, and we'll be here the 30th and May 1st to meet with all the department heads, go through budgets, and then right now they're compiling information on the backside from us. So other than that, I think that's my report for this month. If you have any questions, always feel free to stop by, let me know, and give me a call or stop in to talk.
Okay, thank you. Human Services Director has I think it's just the first step on this report. I think it's going to take a couple months. Is that what I understand?
We might get it done today.
You're going to try and do it?
Actually, we're going to do it today, all today.
Okay, sounds good.
It's only going to take 2 hours. No, I'm just kidding. No, I thought we'd keep it brief today because I know you have a full agenda. And we did go into greater detail with the Human Services Board last week. So, but I would say if any of you have any questions or would like to chat with me, please make arrangements. And my extension, just call the county number, and my extension is 474. So, and I'm willing to sit down with you whenever you'd like. So, I did want to provide a bit of a refresher for a lot of you, and then for those of you who are newer to the board, maybe some of at least a sense of the scope of our department and kind of an introduction. And certainly we can talk a little bit more about that as we go, but unfortunately I made the print large enough so I didn't need my glasses, so that's good. Just to give you a quick idea of our department, we've got a number of units that where we provide a lot of different services. The first unit that I'll just touch on is our behavioral health unit, and that's a number of different programs for folks with mental health issues, both whether it's just the short-term or the longer-term chronic and persistent mental health issues. And as I'm talking about these, it's all the way from prevention all the way to addressing when somebody's in crisis, and kind of the whole spectrum in between of those services that we offer to the citizens of our county. So one of the 24/7 service that we have as a part of that unit is our crisis services, and that's through 24/7 Northwest Connections, partners with law enforcement, and then we also may get a call depending on if somebody is a danger to themselves or others and needs to be emergency detained, and then we have an on-call staff person 24/7 who would make that decision or that call with Northwest Connections as well. So it's one of those critical services in conjunction with a lot of the other things we do. We also do adult protective services, so that's for folks with disabilities or our seniors, and if they're vulnerable in a vulnerable situation, or there's been an allegation of maltreatment, then we would go out and investigate those, and we would follow up on that and take the necessary steps to support that person. We also provide a lot of different services for alcohol and substance abuse, again, all the way from prevention to when somebody really is in the middle of needing some help with their treatment for their issues. So. And a piece of that as well is our intoxicated driver program, where we provide some safety assessments, and then also our recovery court, and Judge Radke, who was just in here, presides over that. So, moving on to our economic support unit, that's where we talk about eligibility for all of the different public assistance programs: food share, Badger Care Plus, Medicaid, eligibility for family care, things like that. It's an 8-county consortium, and it's Trempealeau. I'm going to read them all off because I can't always remember them. Trempealeau, Buffalo, Clark, Jackson, La Crosse, Monroe, Pepin, and Vernon. So, and that's, we work in tandem as an 8-county consortium, which is, it's nice for backup, it's nice for institutional knowledge, and making sure that we're doing a good job training our folks as well. So. Moving on to the family and children's programs, we offer birth to 3 services, so that could be PT, OT, speech, a lot of different pieces in that program. Kids with disabilities, kids with mental health issues, all of those, if you kind of see the theme of, we kind of address folks' needs all the way from birth until the end of life, so in a lot of different ways. I will also say that within our family and children's services, we have another 24/7 service, and that's our child protective services. and Jeannie's very familiar as a former worker in that realm. But that is where we would, if we receive a report of maltreatment of a child or neglect, we would be the ones to investigate that. And in many cases, we're doing that in conjunction with law enforcement as well. So, in addition to that, we've got some folks who work with our youth justice programs, and it could be truancy, it could be a lot of different things where we've got kids at risk who we're either trying to work with to avoid them from having contact with the legal system, or we're working with them after they've had that contact. So, and then moving on to our last unit is our Aging and Disability Resource Center. It's across the street right now. It's going to be coming back over here, and we are all extremely excited about that, as the staff are too. So that's kind of, I think of them, and the state really thinks of them as well as kind of our gateway to adult services for folks over 60. Or for folks with disabilities as well. So any of the public programming, they would determine eligibility. And that's also where our elder benefit specialist, our disability benefit specialist, our dementia care specialist, this is a mouthful, and our community health worker are all located as well. A lot of resources for you. If you ever want to talk with anybody over there, please contact me, contact Melissa Youngbauer, and we're always willing to talk to folks and give you more information. Our nutrition program is operated out of our ADRC as well, and so that's those congregate meal sites that we offer across the county. So if for folks 60 and over, you can get a meal several times a week, different places across the county, or we also have the home delivered meals for folks who qualify for those, and we deliver those to their homes. And there's certain eligibility requirements and things like that too, but we do assess those as well. We do some limited transportation services, so it's based on volunteers and a few part-time drivers we've got, and so we try to maximize the services we offer with what we have. So, and I think that the staff do a really good job of coordinating that. And sometimes we'll do medical appointment, transportation to medical appointments and things like that, or somebody needs to get grocery shopping, and we try to coordinate with other resources in the county as well, but. Again, we do the best we can with what we have. So a lot of different community activities, education. What I would say is we also have a newsletter that comes out every other month, and I'd love to get you all on the mailing list if you're not already. We would be happy to send that to you. And then we also have a Facebook page. So if you just search, if you're on Facebook, search for ADRC of Trempealeau County, and we would appreciate it if you'd follow us, and then there's lots of good information on a lot of the things that I'm talking about here. And we even work with other departments as well, like Veteran Services, if they're wanting to get the word out about different programs and things like that. So it's kind of one of the, I think of it as kind of one of the mouthpieces for county services, is kind of how I look at it anyway. Let's see. One thing to note, and then I just got a few other points, and then I'll leave you with those. We are serving more Spanish-speaking families than ever, and not just in certain pockets, but really across the county. And I thought that was interesting. We're having to look at more translation services and things like that across a lot of different programs. So it's interesting. We're seeing that segment of the population growing within our county, and so we're trying to tend to that as well the best we can. So. Two things I would like you to know about Human Services. The vast majority of our services are state mandated or court ordered or fully funded by the state or some combination thereof. And so, again, we navigate a lot of different, for those of you who are familiar with the state structures and everything, we navigate a lot of convoluted programs and funding streams and things like that. So, we lean on each other a lot. The other piece that I want you to know is that only 20% of the human service budget is actually county levy dollars. The rest of it is all state funding or it's grant funding. So, and then my two shameless plugs that I'm going to make at the end here would be, number one, we are going to be talking with Rebecca about some of the different, the Wisconsin County Human Services Association, which is a subset or a subgroup of Wisconsin Counties Association. Every year we look at funding initiatives and things like that, and we say, okay, what are our top maybe 3 or 4. And for what we identify as an association, we bring that back to our local boards. And then we ask for your support in some of those initiatives. And in many cases, the end result of that is offsetting some of what's needed out of levy dollars right now that we could instead get state funding for. Because I'll be honest, there are a number of state mandates that aren't funded completely, and they still expect us to do those. And so we try to navigate the best we can, but if there are things at the state level with the legislature that we can advocate for, we ask for your help, to do that as well, obviously. So, and then my second thing is a shameless plug for volunteers. For our nutrition programs, the congregate meal sites, the home delivered meals. Anytime we have somebody new starting and they talk about their experience, especially with home delivered meals, they say, wow, this is really impactful, because you might be the only person that person sees, that day. And it's more, we always say it's more than just a meal. It's also socialization, and it's identifying if there are issues, and then we can pull in, our other resources and say, hey, we got somebody here who really needs our help. And so that's kind of how we identify those folks in need as well. So those are my last 2 shameless plugs. My extension is 474, so please give me a call, email me, whatever you'd like to do, and I'm happy to sit down with any of you. So any questions at all? Yes, Jeannie.
You're very humble, and I was at the meeting where your staff presented your annual report, and I
Yes.
just want to say you have an incredible leadership team. They're very connected and very competent, and they work
Absolutely.
really well together. And they're doing really some creative things, some stuff, the CJCC, Criminal Justice Coordinating Committee, is working really hard with the Sheriff's Department. There are so many wonderful things happening, and I hope that all the county board members take time to find out what they're doing, especially in the ADRC, where you're doing some intergenerational stuff with high school kids in Whitehall delivering meals, and business people in Blair delivering home delivered meals. We should be very proud of our Human Services Department. And
I could speak for 2 hours.
I know.
I know nobody wants to hear that.
I am speaking for you because you are very humble. And the consortium has like a 99.1% error rate. So
Amazing
they are almost
accuracy, yes.
perfect. We have an incredible consortium that has won awards from the state.
Yes.
And so kudos to all of you. And I just wanted you guys all to know what an incredible unit this has become.
Thank you, Jeannie.
You're welcome.
Any questions? All right, look me up if you have them.
Item 11, resolution. Highway Personnel Bargaining Committees repeal ordinance 206 and create ordinance 7.08.
Whereas Trempealeau County now has a county administrator serving as chief administrative officer with those duties and responsibilities as set forth by Wisconsin Statute 59.18 and the Trempealeau County Code of Ordinances, hereafter code, including the supervision of department heads like the Trempealeau County Highway Commissioner. Whereas Trempealeau County is in the process of updating the Trempealeau County Code of Ordinance to reflect this supervisory change. And whereas one such ordinance update still necessary to make is to the current Trempealeau County Ordinance 2.06 regarding the appointment and the continuation of the Highway Commissioner to comply with Wisconsin Statute Chapter 83, including Wisconsin Statute 83.01 and 83015, parentheses 2B, and other law. And whereas to effectuate this update for the role of Highway Commissioner, a modification repealing Trempealeau County Ordinance 2.06 and creating a new section in Trempealeau County Ordinance 7.08 is necessary to clarify the Highway Commissioner's term. Therefore, be it resolved that the Trempealeau County Board of Supervisors hereby repeals Trempealeau County Ordinance 2.06 and now creates Trempealeau County Ordinance 7.08, which reads as follows. 7.08, Highway Commissioner. A, Highway Commissioner elected by the County Board prior to January 31st of 2024 will serve an indefinite term subject to Trempealeau County Ordinance 2.05, parentheses 3, and Wisconsin statutes 59.18, parentheses 2B, regarding the supervision of department heads by a county administrator, and 83.01, parentheses 1C, regarding the commissioner's supervision by the county administrator. If appointed as highway commissioner after January 31, 2024, that commissioner shall serve until the first Monday in January of the second year succeeding his or her appointment. Then, upon both county board and county administrator approval, any continued service in this role shall be for an indefinite time. Dated at Whitehall, Wisconsin, this, I don't have a date in there, of February 2024. Respectfully submitted, introduced by Highway Committee, John Austin, Kellen Nelson, Robert Becker, David Larson. Personnel Bargaining Committee, John Austin, Kellen Nelson, Ron Johnson, Jeannie Nutter, Emery Palmer.
Okay, is there a motion? Motion by Supervisor Nutter.
Second.
Second by Supervisor Adams. Any discussion at all? It's pretty straightforward, it's something we gotta get done to straighten out our ordinance. So, do you wanna do a roll call on this?
You have to, it's an ordinance.
Yeah.
Okay. Kellen Nelson,
Yes.
David Larson.
Yes.
Jeannie Nutter.
Yes.
Ron Johnson.
Yes.
Bridget Turner.
Yes.
Stacy Klein.
Yes.
Richard Sasha.
Yes.
Lori Severson.
Yes.
Andy Todd.
Yes.
Richard Anderson. Kevin Adams.
Yes.
Dick Miller.
Yes.
Kevin Whalen.
Yes.
John Austin.
Yes.
Don Waldera.
Yes.
Robert Becker.
Yes.
Renee Lyon.
Yes.
17-0.
Okay,
Where's that?
Board of Health.
The
Public
first,
Health Infrastructure Grant Budget Adjustment is going to be dropped, so we're on item 2. It's Public Health
not
Budget Adjustment, American Rescue Plan Act funds.
that one's missing, so we gotta get that back in here. Whereas the American Rescue Plan Act, ARPA, established the Coronavirus State Fiscal Recovery Fund, CSFRF, and Coronavirus Local Fiscal Recovery Funds, CLFRF, which provide a combined $350 billion in assistance to eligible state, local, territorial, and tribal governments to help turn the tide on the pandemic, address its economic fallout, and lay the foundation for a strong and equitable recovery. And whereas the fiscal recovery funds provide resources to meet and address emergent public health needs, including measures to counter the spread of COVID-19, provision of care to those impacted by the virus, and programs or services that address disparities in public health that have been exacerbated by the pandemic. And whereas Trempealeau County Health Department is the recipient of a grant from the Wisconsin Department of Health Services, DHS, Division of Public Health, DPH, in the amount of $421,500. Whereas the grant funds do not require any county matching funds but need to be added to the 2024 budget. Whereas these funds will be used by the Trempealeau County Health Department to support the members of Trempealeau County, the Trempealeau County Government Center, and the Trempealeau County Health Department as allowed and appropriate. Now be it resolved that $421,500 be added to the 2024 public health budget into revenue account 201.43664 and to expense accounts for wages, benefits, contracted services, supplies, equipment, continuing education, and projects to support our community as we recover from the COVID-19 pandemic. Expense account numbers 201.54177.111, $78,135.78, 201.54177.151, $4,844.42, 201.54177.152, $5,391.37, 201.54177.153, $1,132.97, 201.54177.154, 201.154, $26,632.32, 201.54177.210, $232,500, 201.54177.314, $12,000, 201.54177.999, $60,863.14. Introduced by Board of Health Committee. Bridget Turner, Kevin Adams, Emery Palmer, Stacy Klein, Lori Severson, Dr. Kim Breedenbach.
I'll second.
Motion by Supervisor Nutter, seconded by Supervisor Turner. Is there any discussion at all? Yes, Mr. Miller.
Is there someone here who can give us more information regarding this?
I can speak to this as well as Lynn if you want to, no? Okay.
Okay, I've got
Sure,
three
go ahead.
questions. Is this a one-time grant?
This is a one-time grant.
Okay.
These are ARPA funds, yes.
Okay. Is there a final date by which this money must be spent?
Yes, these funds have to be expended by the end of this year, December of 2024.
Okay. What do these accounts represent? There are several accounts.
Yes.
It's all Greek to me.
Me to do that one?
Do you have those?
I know them. Well, the 111 is wages, okay? That's the 78,000. The 151 is Social Security. The 152 is retirement. The 153 is Medicare. The 154 is health insurance. The 210 is professional services. The 314 is, I gotta think a minute, small items of equipment. And the 999 is no designation, no line detail, 60,000 there.
So to be more specific in what is in some of those, and I don't have everything, but just to, like some of the bigger ones, professional services are for this government solutions, the finance group to come in and analyze. It's going to benefit the health department and benefit overall government in all, and then some funds to also have them as a resource to help our department heads as we go into budgets and we talk about budgeting processes and actually working directly with our department heads on forming budgets and looking at that. Another piece is that HRIS financial software piece, that conversion. We can use funds for that as well. Also, a purchase of iPads to use as translation pieces in our several departments, health department, human services, the sheriff's department, so that we have better communication capability for individuals that are coming in. And then a piece of that, like we talked about, some of the wages that will be used. Also, the possibility of employee recognition and hiring, so that we're looking at employment opportunities and how we are recognizing employees here at this time and also how we recruit.
Thank you.
Any other questions?
So to clarify, there's no particular plan to hire anyone in the health department at this point?
No, that's correct. The funds would be for current employees. That's correct.
Any other questions? We'll call a roll and vote on the budget adjustment for our health department.
Richard Anderson,
Yes.
Kevin Adams,
Yes.
Dick Miller,
Yes?
Kevin Whalen,
Yes.
John Austin,
Yes.
Don Waldera,
Yes.
Robert Becker,
Yes.
Renee Lyon,
Yes.
Kellen Nelson,
Yes.
David Larson,
Yes.
Jeannie Nutter,
Yes.
Ron Johnson,
Yes.
Bridget Turner,
Yes.
Stacy Klein,
Yes.
Richard Sasha,
Yes.
Lori Severson, Andy Todd,
Yes.
17-0.
Thank you.
Item C, highway aid under section 8303.
Whereas Section 83.03, subsection 2 of the statutes provides that if any county board shall determine to improve any portion of the county trunk system of prospective state highways With county funds, it may assess not more than 40% of such improvement against the town, village, or city in which the improvement is located, provided the amount of such tax shall not exceed $1,000 in any year. Whereas the county clerk shall certify such tax to the town, village, or city clerk, who shall put same in the tax roll to be collected and paid to the county treasurer in the next year. Now be it resolved that by virtue of the authority granted by section 83.03, subsection 2, the following improvements be made on the county trunk highway system of prospective state highways. Towns of, and it's all 26 towns, cities, and villages on the county trunks. Local share is $1,000, the county share is $1,500. Totals $26,000 local, $39,000 county. Introduced by the Trempealeau County Highway Committee, John Austin, Kellen Nelson, Dan Schreiner, Robert Becker, David Larson.
Move to approve.
Motion by Supervisor Nutter, second by Supervisor Becker. Any questions at all? This is kind of a standard thing. We do it every year.
This gets put on the tax roll for
Yeah.
next year.
So, call the roll.
Renee Lyon? Yes. Kellen Nelson?
Yes.
David Larson?
Yes.
Jean Nutter?
Yes.
Ron Johnson?
Yes.
Bridget Turner?
Yes.
Stacy Klein?
Yes.
Richard Sasha?
Yes.
Lori Severson?
Yes.
Andy Todd?
Yes.
Richard Anderson?
Yes.
Kevin Adams? Dick Miller?
Yes.
Kevin Whalen?
Yes.
John Austin?
Yes.
Don Waldera?
Yes.
Robert Becker?
Yes.
17-0.
The other part of that, actual spots money is going into.
Oh, this is local roads.
Local road, it's part of our
Co-aid.
OA program.
Whereas various towns hereinafter named have filed petitions for county aid county aid for roads under the provisions of section 83.14 of the Wisconsin statutes. Now be it resolved that said petitions are hereby granted and the county share appropriated for year 2024 as follows. Town of Albion, Norden Road, I suppose all I have to do is read the county share, $17,753.18. Town of Arcadia, North Creek Road, $39,480. Also in Town of Arcadia, Irvin's Coulee Road, $25,119.77. Town of Burnside, Garlic Road, $9,467.12. Town of Caledonia, McKeith, $20,927.34. Town of Chimney Rock, Hawkinson, $8,369.08. Town of Dodge, Smickle Valley, $13,074.98. Town of Ettrick, Bear Creek, $26,040. Also in Ettrick, Bakken, $12,769.68. Town of Gale, Van Riper, $30,154.55. Town of Hale, Johnson Road, $33,051.30. Also in Hale, Behringer Road, $7,595.24. Also in Hale, Erickson Road, $7,519.56. Town of Lincoln, Gearock Road, $15,261.82. Town of Pigeon, Underhill, $14,000. Hestigan, also in Pigeon, $10,000. Also in Pigeon, Tufcrooley, $1,716.27. Town of Preston, Tappan Coulee Road, $35,718.56. Town of Sumner, Brown Road, $16,664.36. Town of Trempealeau, Schubert Road, $19,928.83. Also in Trempealeau, Delaney Road, $13,233.80. Town of Unity, Maug Road, $22,154.56. Grand total of all projects is $1 million, the local share is $600,000, and the county share is $400,000. Introduced by Trumbull County Highway Committee, John Austin, Kellen Nelson, Dan Schreiner, David Larson, Robert Becker.
Motion by
Second.
Supervisor Nelson, second by Supervisor Johnson. Any discussion? You can call the roll.
Richard Seisha,
Yes.
Lori Severson, Andy Todd.
Yes.
Richard Anderson,
Yes.
Kevin Adams. Dick Miller,
Yes.
Kevin Whalen,
Yes.
John Austin,
Yes.
Don Waldera,
Yes.
Robert Becker,
Yes.
Renee Lyon,
Yes.
Kellen Nelson,
Yes.
David Larson,
Yes.
Jeannie Nutter,
Yes.
Ron Johnson,
Yes.
Bridget Turner,
Yes.
Stacy Klein,
Yes.
17-0.
Okay, Audit Committee members' claims.
Whereas the Audit Committee has audited the following claims and recommend that they be allowed as follows. John Austin, $1,153.34. Kevin Adams, $70.10. Robert Becker, $150. Ron Johnson, $880.06. Stacy Klein, $142.88. David Larson, $414.82. Dick Miller, $121.44. Kellen Nelson, $67.42. Jeannie Nutter, $493.80. David Orsh, 0. Emery Palmer, 0. Richard Seisha, $169.68. Dan Schreiner, $761.55. Lori Severson, 0. Andy Todd, 0. Bridget Turner, 0. Don Waldera, $118.76. Total per diems, $3,100. Total expenses, $1,443.85. Grand total, $4,543.85. Now, be it resolved that the claims be allowed as shown. Introduced by Audit Committee, John Austin, Ron Johnson.
Move to approve.
I'll second.
Motion by Supervisor Turner and seconded by Supervisor Nutter. Any questions at all? Hearing none, call the roll.
David Larson,
Yes.
Jeannie Nutter,
Yes.
Ron Johnson.
Yes.
Bridget Turner,
Yes.
Stacy Klein,
Yes.
Richard Seisha,
Yes.
Lori Severson,
Yes.
Andy Todd, Richard Anderson,
Yes.
Kevin Adams.
Yes.
Dick Miller,
Yes.
Kevin Whalen,
Yes.
John Austin,
Yes.
Don Waldera,
Yes.
Robert Becker,
Yes.
Renee Lyon,
Yes.
Kellen Nelson.
Yes.
You want to wait for Supervisor Todd or just?
It's 16-0, so
Okay.
I'll put that on.
Fantastic. Parks, Tourism, and Economic Development Committee. Application for snowmobile trail maintenance grant.
Oh, we forgot to get the signatures on these. Whereas Trumbull County currently has 251.6 miles of state-funded snowmobile trails that provide important outdoor recreation opportunities to residents as well as visitors. And whereas this network of trails must be maintained through activities such as cleaning debris and trail grooming to ensure the trails are safe and passable. Whereas, there's another whereas. This work is done on behalf of Trempealeau County by a number of different snowmobile clubs under the umbrella of the Associated Snowmobile Clubs of Trempealeau County. Whereas the cost of maintenance done by these clubs is reimbursable through a maintenance grant provided by the Wisconsin Department of Natural Resources, DNR, based on a formula which considers number of trail miles. And whereas Trumbull County has the state-recognized county snowmobile coordinator must submit this maintenance grant request to the Wisconsin DNR and track the reimburse eligible costs to the clubs. Now be it resolved that, there's an extra that, missed that, that the Trempealeau County Parks and Recreation Coordinator is authorized to submit the grant request, accept funds in account 101.43571 snowmobile trails and expense from account 101.55440.395 trail maintenance for costs of maintaining the trails in the event the Parks and recreation coordinators unable to sign the grants and reimbursements, the land management fiscal manager is granted the ability to do so. Introduced by Parks, Tourism, and Economic Development. And did you find out which person was not at that meeting?
I believe everybody's.
We were all there.
No, there was one missing, because there's 8. And remember, I sent an email saying which one was missing, because then I can say that the rest were there.
Oh, I know who wasn't there. Bob Petrick wasn't there.
Okay, so then we got it introduced by Parks, Tourism, and Economic Development. Jeannie Nutter, Lori Severson, Buzz Sorgi, Dawn Waldera, Kevin Adams, Robert Becker, Jean Galazinski.
Move to approve.
Motion by Supervisor Nutter. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Supervisor Adams. Any questions at all on it? Not? Read the,
Lori Severson,
Yes.
Andy Todd,
Yes.
Richard Anderson,
Yes.
Kevin Adams,
Yes.
Dick Miller,
Yes.
Kevin Whalen,
yes.
John Austin,
Yes.
Dawn Waldera. Oh, now she's gone.
Yeah.
Robert Becker,
Yes.
Renee Lyon,
Yes.
Kellen Nelson,
Yes.
David Larson.
Yes.
Jeannie Nutter,
Yes.
Ron Johnson,
Yes.
Bridget Turner,
Yes.
Stacy Klein,
Yes.
Richard Sasha.
Yes.
16-0.
Passes. Okay, announcements.
We got another one.
Oh, we got one more here.
The bridge.
Application for snowmobile bridge grant.
Whereas Trumbull County currently has 251 miles of state-funded snowmobile trails that provide important outdoor recreation opportunities to residents as well as visitors. And whereas this network of snowmobile trails also contributes significantly to the local economy by drawing visitors to our area who spend money on gas, lodging, groceries, supplies, and dining. And whereas a number of these trails require bridges to traverse bodies of water or other terrain safely. And whereas, there's another whereas, I missed that one too. Sorry about that. Trumbull County, in coordination with area snowmobile clubs, annually assess the need for bridge repair or replacement, and Trumbull County, as part of this process, has identified the following bridges to be in need of replacement: Hague Bridge, County NN Bridge, and the Osseo Golf Course Bridge, all of which are located on state-funded trails. Whereas Trumbull County intends to apply for funding from the Wisconsin Department of Natural Resources to complete these proposed bridge replacement projects. And whereas the costs for these proposed projects, if approved, will be reimbursed 100% through the grant. Now, be it resolved that Trumbull County Parks and Recreation Coordinator is authorized to submit the grant request for these projects, refer required contracts to the county administrator, who may then sign such contracts and utilize reimbursements for state grants that provide expenses and revenue for bridge repairs and replacements within the scope of the grant. Expenses will be coded to account 101.55440.393, special projects, and funds to be deposited into account 101.43572, DNR grants. Introduced by Parks, Tourism, and Economic Development. Jeannie Nutter, Lori Severson, Buzz Sorgi, Dawn Waldera, Kevin Adams, Robert, missed that one too, Becker, and Jean Galazinski.
I'll second.
Motion by Supervisor Nutter, second by Supervisor Waldera. Any questions on that? Oh,
Mr. Chair, just
go ahead.
one clarification so everybody knows. The Hague Bridge, which was listed here, was, to use the sports terminology, a late scratch. That project will not be moving forward. It really doesn't affect the resolution, but we will, just so everybody understands, that was a project's not going to move forward this year.
Okay,
So the other two will.
okay. Call the roll?
Robert Becker,
Yes.
Renee Lyon,
Yes.
Kellen Nelson,
Yes.
David Larson,
Yes.
Jeannie Nutter,
Yes.
Ron Johnson,
Yes.
Bridget Turner,
Yes.
Stacy Klein,
Yes.
Richard Sasha.
Yes.
Lori Severson,
Yes.
Andy Todd,
Yes.
Richard Anderson,
Yes.
Kevin Adams. We got a lot of Richards on this board, that's for sure. Kevin Adams was a yes. Dick Miller,
Yes.
Kevin Whalen,
Yes.
John Austin,
Yes.
Dawn Waldera.
Yes.
17-0.
Item 12, appointment of County Highway Commissioner. Our current commissioner, Neil Olson, has served this year, over a year now, and so it's time he can be appointed to an indefinite term. There's always a one-year probationary period with a commissioner. You would like to say anything there, Neil? Talk to the board at all? You don't have to. He's doing a great job out there. We're really pleased with him, and morale is up in the whole department, so. I wanna
Motion
thank
to
him.
approve Neil Olson as the, I'll call it permanent highway commissioner.
Whoa, everybody wants him.
That's a good
I was
sign.
gonna second too.
Good
Who did
sign.
you give for the second?
I got Mr. Johnson, I
I
think.
think
Johnson.
he was, beat me to it.
Yeah, okay. Motion by Supervisor Larson, second by Supervisor Johnson. Okay, this can be done by a roll call vote. I mean, a voice vote, right?
I think so. I don't have any.
Yeah. So all those in favor of making our interim
Into full.
into a full-time indefinite period for our current highway commissioner. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Hearing none, it's unanimous, Neil. Good job. With that, we have appointments, and actually, I did work on this, regardless of whether I got it or not, I worked on making appointments for committees and stuff, and it's actually done in my office, so I'd like to take like I think we can do it in like 10 minutes. Sure. Can we take a 10-minute break, and we'll go down and we'll make the rest of these appointments? I think everybody's back.
We don't have to take a roll call?
I don't think we have to
Did you
take-
recess?
No, everybody's here. I counted, there's 17 heads, so we're all here, so we don't have to.
Okay, then we
recess.
don't have to do a roll call.
No. Anyway, so, back to the original thing we skipped earlier is appointments, committee appointments. We handed out a sheet, and on this sheet, I just put a star, with the exception of Trumbull County Healthcare Center, they got the current officers that they have, but the rest of them I put a star by just an acting chair to get the meeting organized. You can vote for who you want, but this is just so you got somebody to start with. So there's a star by all the chairmen of all those committees.
And make sure that
And-
put their election on their next agenda.
And so the election, just while I'm thinking of it, there's a personnel bargaining meeting coming up this Thursday, so if you're on that committee, 8 o'clock in the morning, and we'll have our organizational meeting there.
And it was just amended, that agenda was just amended in the last hour or so. Yep, so that it has the election of officers on there. But the big thing is make sure on that first meeting that it has the election.
The only thing I have to do is, we have to approve the appointments on the Western Dairyland. I have Supervisor Nutter and Supervisor Turner. They have been on it and doing a good job on it. Appointments for the ADRC Council is Supervisor Miller and Supervisor Nutter. Because it's supposed to have people from Human Services on it, it's kind of a branch off of it, so wanted to do that. Emergency Planning Council, I put Supervisor Anderson and Supervisor Becker. Becker served on it before. They haven't been meeting too often, but I've just talked to the head of emergency management, and he said they're supposed to meet a minimum of once a year, so it's probably gonna end up being quarterly.
They were supposed to be quarterly, but
Yeah.
minimum, yes.
A minimum of once a year and quarterly, so it's not something you have to worry about a lot, but, and there's citizen members on them. I don't exactly know who is on there.
I'm gonna find
Are
out.
you
in a
gonna
minute.
go?
Let's see.
You wanna read them?
Hang on, if I can find them, yes.
Uh-huh.
Well, it's gonna change, because you've got Richie Anderson probably will replace Dan Schreiner, Dustin Stevens, Jen Como, Wayne Dahl, Brian Jah, Jeremiah Pintock, Pat Malone, Butch Halama, Robert Becker stays on, Tim Robertson, Jeremy Matheny, and Ann Hempel are the Emergency Planning Committee.
Would you call them the imaginary committee?
I was going to say something else.
So anyway, I'm looking for a motion to approve these appointments.
I move to approve.
Motion by Supervisor Nutter, second by Mr. Johnson. Yes, sir. I know not everybody's gonna be happy with the spot they got. I worked on this for, off and on for a couple of weeks, and, I gotta change that one, gotta change that, so. I was gonna do it whether I became chair or not. I just wanted whoever became chair, so at least you had a starting point, and make it go a little faster. As far as I know, this is the first time in my years on the board that we're gonna be done by noon, hopefully, if I shut up. So anyway.
If there is interest, I'm interested in the ADRC. So like, if that's the case, do I just say, I'm interested in the ADRC? Or is there some way that we consider others?
The two I put on there were, do you want to be on it? Who in the heck did I put
You
on
got
there?
Dick Miller.
Oh, Dick Miller.
I do serve on Human Services, and we do, spend a lot of time regarding ADRC issues, so I would not oppose, I think it'd be nice to have Dawn serve on that if.
We could add it. It just requires two. Can we add a third, or do you want to?
I would
It's a
be,
huge committee, and not everybody comes, and we
let
always
me-
have a difficult time maybe with, it's been good this year with having quorums, but we have struggled, so.
well, maybe you should
And,
have, maybe can you put
and
another one on?
those-
Jay, if you look on your Human Services annual report, he had listed all the members that are on that advisory ADRC council. So, I mean, if you want to look and see if
I'm
that-
not adverse to
adding one more.
either adding one more or simply having Dawn serve, and I would not.
I don't know when they meet. It could be toward the end of the month where you don't want to be.
Every other
And we
month
just
and
met
second
we just met
Tuesday
in
last week.
February and April, so we won't meet again until June.
Excuse me, I asked Jeannie a question?
Yeah.
What time of the month do you meet?
We meet on Tuesday.
Second Tuesday, right?
morning.
And what time?
I think it's a second Tuesday.
The second Tuesday,
Okay.
um,
Oh, you can't.
What time of day, did you say?
Like
10:30,
10?
we meet after the Parks Committee meeting.
Oh,
Okay, that's
okay.
We don't need it.
And it's a pretty
If you
set,
don't want it,
it's pretty set
if you
time.
don't want to do it, we have a willing.
If we can just have two, yes, I'll say,
Okay.
have Dawn serve on that.
We'll switch that, so just
Yeah.
on your own record
Okay.
here, switch it from Dick
Good.
Miller to
Dawn
Dawn
will
will
do
do it.
And the next meeting, Dawn, is not until June. And it's
And
pretty
you'll
set
get
at 10,
notice. Yeah.
10 o'clock. There's a huge, they're all citizen members.
The rest are, yeah.
And we still do have somebody from Human Services on it. It's supposed to be kind of like an extension of Human Services. That's why I did it the way I did.
Well, is Dawn's on Human Service? Are you on Human Services?
No,
No.
Board
Oh.
of Health.
Oh, well, that would be a good addition,
Yeah.
actually, I think.
Okay, that'll work. So let's have
Motion.
we had a motion and a second to approve the appointments with this one switch, so all those. in
John,
fa-
do we need to amend the change we just made? Do we need to
What
make an amendment to
motion is
that
out
before
there
we
right now?
vote?
The motion
I
is
thought
to
we did
approve
that.
as I had it, I suppose, so we gotta,
Motion.
For this one or these?
why don't you make a motion to amend to add?
I think we just,
Hang on a second. Did you had a motion on the floor to do the Western Dairyland ADRC and emergency planning.
All of them, all of the appointments,
Now you're putting this one in with up here.
yeah.
Because, was that what the motion was, and who made the motion?
well, I made the motion to do the two appointments to Western Dairyland
seconded.
and, ADRC, I'm sorry. So
So
we
you want to
need,
make your motion that it's everything?
Just approve all.
This one
I think the original
with
motion was
these.
just to approve all appointments, but there's been a
okay,
change.
I will,
That's
can
what
I
I
withdraw my
wrote the
motion
list.
and restate it?
Okay,
I'm looking at Susan.
I withdraw my second.
Okay.
All right, I would make a motion to approve all committee members as designated by our chair, and to approve the appointments to Western Dairyland, ADRC, and Emergency Planning Council.
Okay,
Second.
yeah,
Is that what Jean's motion seconded?
Yeah, by,
yeah,
Second.
yeah.
You can't withdraw it. Once it's seconded, then it's ours. Remember, that's what she said.
Oh,
All we have to, you have to vote on that. And then you can, and then you
okay.
can.
That's these guys that just learned that, didn't they?
Dang it.
They just learned that.
That's,
You get an A.
we might not get done at noon again. This is Sarah, this is Sarah Dietrich's fault. Sarah Dietrich Hartzler's fault, and she just,
Recommendation to,
recommendation to the new board members, and he caught it and remembered it, so.
Susan did too.
Yeah, so anyway,
Susan, are you
vote
want to
this one
say
down.
something?
we're having to vote on the
Wait,
withdrawal.
Susan wants to say
Okay.
something.
I'm just in an effort of time and to keep it before noon if we can. I think we could still vote on Supervisor Nutter's motion regarding the Western Dairyland and ADRC Council, and then come back and vote on the rest of the committees if we wanted to.
Because that was what her
That's what her
original
motion
motion
was.
was.
That was my original one.
Yes.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm saying, she can't
Yes.
amend it, we have to vote on the
Yeah.
original one.
Okay.
And we can
first.
vote on that and then go back and do everything else.
Yep. She'd
Okay.
be very proud of us, that cat.
So the motion is to voting on the,
Western Dairyland, ADRC, and the Emergency Planning Council.
Which is 12BCD. That's
Right.
the way I thought you were doing it. Okay.
That's what I thought I was doing. I did not think I was
That's
doing
why I
this.
thought it
Oh,
was
okay.
confusing. So we're only.
And I made the motion, we had the discussion, and then Dick withdrew from the committee, and Dawn is on it, and I think we're good.
okay. Motion made, Dan's,
Second.
motion made by Nutter, seconded by seconded by Supervisor Johnson. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
And now one for,
Now, one for a motion to approve the whole committee.
I so move.
And I'll second.
Motion by Supervisor Roldera, seconded by Supervisor Nutter. Any questions at all now? Hearing none? Oh, go
Are
on.
these completely set in stone, or is there potential for negotiation?
You're not gonna be
I'm trying to figure out the best way to word that.
Did you, have I got you on something you didn't want to be?
Well, I know it's really important to the two towns I represent, being part of the Environment and Land Use Committee, and that's what I was on
Oh,
up until now. So I'm just seeing if it's a possibility.
as long as I can get somebody to replace it there.
you'd have to have Andy, Kevin, Renee, Kellen,
Because you
and
worked
David.
on human services before.
And I'm interested in human services, so there's that as an opportunity.
Me too.
Well, aren't you on Human Services?
You had me on Board of Health.
Open up a can of worms.
But if there's somebody on environmental land use that could switch
I need somebody on
off
land
of
use.
human services, off of
Or-
environment onto human
Yeah, or
services.
Board of
So
Health
that's
is
Andy,
one.
Kevin, Renee, Kellen, and David.
Is there somebody who would rather not be on land use? Environmental land use, I have Andy Todd, I have Kelvin Wallen.
No, Kevin, oh, yeah.
Oh,
Kevin Mullen,
hey, I was looking at the wrong thing, yeah. Let's see here.
Kellen Nelson and
You're
Dave
not on
Larson.
it.
Oh, good, okay.
Renee Lyon,
I never felt good about that one.
What was that? I'd prefer to if possible, but, yeah.
I could, rather than Board of Health, I could do human services if that helps.
You're not on the ELU.
Well-
No, but then that would free her up for one less, wouldn't
well,
it?
don't make this confusing, this
Yes,
is what,
say we don't.
Because then we have too many on the ELU committee. We need one person to lead.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Renee, you want to come on human services with us?
If she went over there, then
Or
who?
is she?
Bridget, Stacy.
What about?
Well, that would be the
Board of
only thing
Health?
would be if Renee went off and Stacy went on environment.
Renee and Stacy could switch if they're
They switch?
willing.
Human Services and
Well, I want to take.
Environment
But the thing you gotta look at too, because of the rules, and I
Yeah.
didn't bring them with, that you have to be a member of a certain committee to make you eligible to be on another committee and all that. We'd have to go back and see if that still works.
Yeah, that's,
Human Services
Is Board of Health an
Board.
option switch? No.
we have kind of different rules.
yeah, you have to have a,
Can you pull this up and look at the
So many.
second page? I think it should be on there. I only printed the first.
Stuck between a rock and a hard place now.
You don't have a second, there it is, okay.
We could just,
County board rules and duty
we
compensation.
could drop it, because I know there's one other person
In
from
the
our
blue and
town
the
that's a
gray.
citizen member.
Okay.
And
Yellow, oops,
I can just make sure I'm in
yellow,
full communication with him too.
that'd be work.
Yellow.
So then otherwise it can stay the
Yeah,
same?
well, the rules
Yep.
are yellow, persons on these
We're definitely
committees.
Right now,
are
we're got,
limited to
those,
four.
like the rules, you
White.
said you
Persons
gotta
on
have
these
somebody from
committees are
highway,
limited
somebody
to
from law
four.
enforcement, not
Yeah.
some from this,
Okay.
they serve on
We'll
this
just-
committee. I said,
yeah.
geez. But they,
Yeah, I'm glad I explored it, so now we know, but thank
yeah.
you.
But as long as we got somebody from your area representing you, that will
Just
work.
do that change,
No, there's
No,
no.
no change.
no change?
No change.
At this point?
No change, so
And maybe later on,
Yep,
we can do something.
Yep.
Okay.
the motion was made to approve the committees as they are on the chart right now, so. Motion was made and seconded. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. All right, now where are we?
Okay,
Committee reports.
that was before. It was
The
Jean.
exec finance,
You made the motion, who made the
the
second?
budget's in
All the
here
committees.
for those new
Dawn, you were the second or
backside.
the first?
Backside is the sales tax.
Okay, it's Jeannie and Dawn, okay.
Yeah.
Something like that.
Yeah,
Okay, where are we now?
I think it was actually, you made the motion.
I think you made the motion, you seconded it. There you go, yes. I thought it was Dawn.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's Dawn and then Jeannie. Okay, okay.
It's in your packet there, the sales tax.
Yeah, I announced that already.
Budget.
Oh,
You
that
did
part, no, I announced the thing about making sure that your contact information is correct
Oh, yeah.
and your audit committee schedule. Okay,
Where did I put my notes? Okay, here we go. And let's see.
let's see.
As I mentioned, personnel bargaining meets 8 o'clock this Thursday, so if you're on that committee, 8 o'clock Thursday
Personnel
for
bargaining.
personnel bargaining. It'll be right here in this room, I'm assuming.
Okay,
Okay,
14.
letter from the Strum Library, you want to read that?
Sure will. Dear board members, I wanted to personally invite you to our author visit. Without your support, we would not be able to bring to our area William Kent Kruger. William is a popular mystery writer that is from St. Paul. Thank you for continued support of our libraries. Dawn Herring, is that how you pronounce it? Herring? Strum Public Library. And you should have gotten one of these with it that says May 8th. He's going to be at the Strum Library at 6.
No, it's at the school.
Oh, at Leo Strum School?
But then
Yep.
he's coming to the library too.
And it's 6 o'clock.
We don't have that information. We just have
But you have one of these in your packet. Yeah, okay. There.
Homework, before you go, you gotta read one of his books, so you know. Is that it? I think, is that all you had for correspondence?
Well, I got some more announcements.
Okay, go ahead.
When you leave here today, go down to the treasurer's office because your checks are ready. And that should affect all 17 of you because you would have gotten paid for today's meeting also.
But not if you have direct deposit, right?
Right.
You'll get a dummy check.
Yeah, let me check. We at least you'll know what it is.
And
then.
actually, it shouldn't do, yeah, we did that already. Good.
So,
No, we haven't
now,
done number
I
15
gotta do
yet.
number 15. I need a motion to approve these checks. Inspect the
Move to instruct clerk to pay the mileage per diem.
motion by Supervisor Turner and seconded by Supervisor, okay, seconded by Supervisor Johnson. All those in.
No.
Oh, you gotta call roll again.
Yes, here one more. Mileage and per.
Just about me.
Stacy
Susan will keep
Klein,
us straight over here.
Yes.
Richard Seisha.
Yes.
Lori Severson. Andy Todd.
Yes.
Richard Anderson.
Yes.
Kevin Adams.
Yes.
Dick Miller.
Yes.
Kevin Whalen.
Yes.
John Austin,
Yes.
Dawn Waldera,
Yes.
Robert Becker,
Yep.
Renee Lyon,
Yes.
Kellen Nelson,
Yes.
David Larson.
Yes.
Jeannie Nutter.
Yes.
Ron Johnson.
Yes.
Bridget Turner. 17-0. Then we were also supposed to announce that if you want your picture taken, to go down to the TV studio.
The next meeting for the regular county board is on the 20th at 7.
Mr. Chair, maybe you should announce that on May 8th is that schooling in Eau Claire, if anybody would care to go on Robert's Rules of Order. That should be announced so everybody's
In your packets, you would have
aware.
gotten this information about the county officials workshop. You got to get that to me right away because I got to get that registration turned in. That would be in the packets that you got from WCA. Okay?
Yeah. All right. All right. We can adjourn.